this is day 2 of the 5-day yoga journey to wellness. So I hope you're feeling great. Perhaps you're feeling a little tired or sore from yesterday. If so, take it a little bit easy. We'll have lots of gentle stretches today, or perhaps you're feeling invigorated. Then that's wonderful. Anyway, we're going to be going through another series of yoga poses, some new ones that we haven't done yesterday. Don't worry, I'll explain them all. As always, listen to your body. Always take a stretch to where it's a good stretch, but not to where it becomes painful. Take breaks anytime you want to. Remember, I showed you last time the child's pose. I'll show you again briefly. So if you come with take your hips back towards your heels, or touching the heels if they'll get there. Head on the floor, and your hands can stretch out in front. If you don't like them there, you can have them beside your face or back towards your feet. And this is a great pose to relax in and take a break in anytime you want. Of course, if you're watching this on the video, then you can pause it anytime you like as well. So let's start off just sitting with a nice straight spine, cross-legged, or any way that feels comfortable for you. Some people get bothered with their knees sitting like this, so just stretch your legs out or sit any way that you feel much better in. With a nice straight spine though, let's just close our eyes and just take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. So congratulations for coming back, doing this for your wellness, taking this time for yourself. So let everything else go for the moment. Everything else will still be there once this session is over. And then drop your chin down to your chest. Slowly open your eyes and roll the head gently around one way a couple of times. Keeping the breathing nice and long and deep. And then roll your head the other way. And bringing the head back up to look ahead. Reach your arms overhead. Inhale, and then take the left hand down to the side. Inhale again, reaching long, and exhale, lean over. Inhale back to the top, and exhale down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, right hand comes down. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale over to the side. Inhale, reach, and exhale down. And now stretch yourself forward, rounding the spine, and open the chest. Big inhale here. Exhale, curl around. And again, inhale, stretching out, and exhale down. And then come up. Bring your left hand now gently onto your head, and just let the weight of the arm carry your head gently over to the left, so you get a lovely stretch down the side of the neck here. And then the other side. And release it. Now if you bring your left hand down, now bring the right knee behind your left foot. And we're going to sweep this right arm forward and press up, push the hips forward, lift that right arm up to the ceiling, and release yourself down. We'll do that 2 more times. It's a really lovely stretch. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll swap the legs the other way around. So the left knee behind your right foot this time. Other hand down, sweep the hand forward, lift the hips, push them forward, and lower. And 2 more times. Inhale and reach. Exhale down. And the last time. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. We're going to come over onto your hands and knees now. Having your hands underneath your shoulders. Have them shoulder width apart, and your legs are hip width apart. And as we did yesterday, we're going to do a few rounds of the cat and wolf. So as you inhale, come into the wolf pose, looking up. So your back dips, hips up, chest is lifting. And then as you exhale, the chin tucks to your chest, tailbone tucks under, and your belly button presses up towards the spine. So work with your own breath. So inhaling into the wolf and exhaling into the cat. Inhale as you look up and exhale as you look down. Try and flow with the breath. So when your spine is straight, you're halfway through the breath. And then when you're in the full pose, you're either with a full breath or with no breath in your lungs at all. And bring yourself back to neutral. Now bring your left knee in towards the face and then send that back foot up towards the ceiling, look up and then bring it in again. Knee towards the face and send it back up. Push your foot up like a tiger's tail. So squeeze out the air here and inhale as you look back. This is tiger pose. One more time. Squeeze it in. Take it back. Now hold it here, and only if you want to you can reach back, see if you can grab hold of the foot behind you. Send it up towards the ceiling. And release. Inhale again into that wolf pose. And exhale cat. Inhale wolf. And this time bring your right knee in towards the face. Inhale, take it back. Push that foot up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the foot in. Inhale, push up. Exhale in. And take it back. Hold it here. Push that foot as high as it'll go. Lifting the chest, looking up. And then if you want to, find your balance. Take your left hand behind to grab your right foot and lift it up. Looking up towards the ceiling. This arm on the floor is nice and straight. And come back onto hands and knees. Take your hips back towards your heels for this child's pose. Arms reach out in front and take a breath here. And then come up on your fingertips. Walk around to one side, letting the hips go a little bit to the other side. It's a really nice side stretch. And walk yourself around the other way. So if you're going to the left, your hips go a little bit to the right, or vice versa. And come back to the center. Now lower yourself down so your hands are next to your elbows in front of you. Take your left hand out in front and then pull back with your hips and let your head rest on your right forearm. So you keep lengthening back, dipping the chest towards the mat and breathing here. It's a great shoulder stretch. If you work on computers a lot, this is a great one to do. So lift your head now, bring the left arm back beside the right elbow. Take your right hand out in front and again pull back with the hips and let your head rest down. You can even close your eyes if you like here. And then lift your head, bring your left hand out parallel to the right and again dip the chest down. Maybe you can bring your forehead to the mat. Maybe you can get your chin on the mat looking forward. Just do what works for you. Breathe into it. And ease back up. Hands underneath the shoulders and just press up into the spine. Move around any way that feels good. Press into any areas of tightness. And we're going to go into downward facing dog. So you want to tuck your toes underneath and press the hips back up towards the ceiling. You might want to walk your feet in a little closer towards your hands so you can press back, heels towards the mat. They may or may not get there. Some people find that their heels are a few inches off the mat even though they're pushing back, and that's completely fine, but just take it to where it's a good stretch and hold. Now see if you can shift your weight onto your right leg. Take the left leg up as high as it'll go for three-legged dog. Both legs are straight, arms are straight. And then bend that top knee and shift the weight a little over to the right. lifting the leg until you find where there's a good stretch and hold it. And then lower back down into downward facing dog. Shift your weight to your left leg and take the right leg up this time as high as it'll go. So still pushing the mat away with your fingers. Reach up with the back toes, both legs straight, and then bend the top knee. Lean a bit over to the left. Again, find where there's a lovely feeling of stretch and hold it there. And then lower back down into downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to your hands and very slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. Shoulders finally roll back, head lifts, and the hands come into that namaste position at the heart. Now we're going to do another one of those sun salutations that we learnt yesterday. Nice and slowly. Let's start reaching the arms up, overhead. Push the hips forward, lean a little bit backwards if that feels comfortable for you. And then come up, reach forward and let yourself hang down over your legs. Let your hands come to wherever they get to. And then bring your hands onto the legs unless you're flexible enough to bring your fingers to your feet without bending your knees. Stretch the back out nice and long here, and then bend your knees until you can bring your hands flat. Walk yourself back into a plank pose. Hold it here, and then lower your knees, and then chin and chest to the mat, and come up into a cobra pose. Arching the spine, look up, shoulders are back and down. And then tuck your toes under, press back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet in a little bit closer to your body, closer to your hands so you can press back into the pose. And breathe here. And then you're going to step your left foot up between your hands, back knee comes down, come forwards, reaching up and back, and then bring yourself forwards again. Come on the back toes, step your feet together, hanging down. Now look up, straight spine stretching out, hands on the floor, on your legs. And then forward fold, so let your head relax down, stretching as if you're going to bring your top of your head down to your feet. And then come up with a flat back, reach the arms up, a little back bend if you can, and exhale down to namaste at the heart. And let's do the other side. So reach up, lean back a little if you can, and then come forwards and down, hanging down. Step back with your right foot this time, knee down, and come up, leaning back into the pose. And then you come forward, come on your back toes, step back into plank, and then lower, knees, chin and chest to the mat. And press up into cobra pose, and then back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet in slightly, press into the pose, and breathe. Head relaxes down here, heels press towards the mat, and then step your right foot up between your hands, back knee and foot comes down. Reach the arms up, lean back a little if you can, and then hands come either side of the front foot. Step your feet up together and hang down. Look up for a moment, lengthening up the spine. Hands can be on the legs or on the floor, but legs are straight. And then dip your head down towards your feet, and then come up, reaching, lean it back a little if you can, and hands back into namaste. Well done. So from here, step your right foot back, Nice wide stance. We're going to go into that triangle pose that we learned yesterday as well. Arms reaching out, star pose, stretching out through the 5 points of the star. Reach forwards and then bring this hand down wherever you can get between the knee and the ankle. Just try not to press directly on the kneecap if you can. Opening up the chest towards the ceiling and look up and breathe here. And then look down at that front foot. Bring yourself all the way back up to standing. Turn the front palm to face the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, slide down the back leg, taking your left arm around. Trying to keep in line with the body, so you're not leaning forwards or back here. And then come back up to that star pose. Now scoot your front foot away so you've got a little bit of a wider stance and bend the front knee down. Warrior two pose. You want a wider stance because when you come down you don't want the knee over the toes. If it is, take the stance a little bit wider. So the back toe is turning a little bit towards the front and sink into the pose. Imagine your favorite drink is on that thigh and you don't want to spill it. And then bring your left forearm onto the thigh. Reach up and over with your other arm. Now you don't want it in front here, but taking it back as far as it'll go. You pull back and lengthen all the way from these top fingertips to the back foot, where the little toe side of the foot is pressing into the mat. And then come back up to warrior two, so that front knee stays bent. Turn the front palm to face the ceiling again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, slide down the back leg again, but this time that front knee stays bent. So really reach up and over. And come back up. Now either do the same again with your hand, with your arm on this thigh, or else if you're more flexible you might be able to bring your hand down, somewhere down the leg, perhaps to the floor. In a similar pose, just a little harder to do, a little bit, takes a bit more flexibility. And then look down. Now keep that leg strength, keep that knee bent, come back up into warrior two. Well done. And we'll do the other side. So shift your feet around the other way. Arms reach out front and back, nice and long. You probably want your stance just a little bit narrower for the triangle pose. Stretch out to the side and then come down. So somewhere between the knee and the ankle, and bring your left arm up to the ceiling, opening up this left shoulder, looking up towards the ceiling. Both legs are strong, and breathe here. And then look down at the front foot, come up slowly with control. Turn over your right palm to face the ceiling this time. Lengthen up the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, slide down your left leg, taking that right arm over. Just lengthening out. Take it to where it's a good stretch, and hold, breathe. And slowly bring yourself back up with control. Now take that leg a little bit further away for a wider stance and bend down your right leg this time for warrior two. Arms are reaching out front and back. The gaze is out over that right and middle finger. Again, would you be able to balance your favorite drink on that thigh? Also, there's a tendency for this thigh to want to flop in towards the big toe side. So use your leg strength to press it out towards the little toe side of your foot. And then bring the right forearm on that thigh and reach up and over with your left arm, pulling it back, opening up. You can peer around the arm up towards the ceiling. Back leg is strong, pressing the outer edge of the foot into the mat. And then with control, come back up to that warrior two. Turn the right palm to face the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, slide down the back leg. This time, keeping that right knee bent. And then come back up. You're going to pass through that warrior two and come back into this pose, or take your right hand somewhere down the leg, perhaps even to the floor, left hand up towards the ceiling, and gaze up at it. So you can be here, or anywhere down here, or onto the floor. And then slowly come back up into that warrior two pose. And release it. Well done. Give your legs a little bit of a shake out. Okay, we're going to do a balance pose now called the dancer's pose. It's a beautiful pose. If you haven't done it before, you might want to watch it first because it's quite difficult to do while watching the screen at the same time. So you're going to bring your weight onto one leg and bring the other one. Now catch the big toe side of the foot. So not the little toe side like this, but the big toe side here. And then you're going to take the leg back, lifting it with the arm. The other arm comes out in front. Lean yourself forward and take that leg up. So just come down as far as feels comfortable and hold it for a few breaths here. And when you're ready, ease up and release, and then do the other side. Okay, so I'll show you the other way. So weight on your opposite leg. I'm going to bring up the right foot, grab the big toe side, which is with my palms facing away from me. Other arm comes out. I'll take the leg back and then lean into the pose. And when you're ready, come up slowly and release. Well done. I love those balances. They make me feel so clear-headed afterwards. Right, we're going to work our way down to the floor to do some floor exercises. So come up to the front of the mat with your feet and ankles together, hands at the heart, and then reach out and up overhead. Lean back a little if that feels okay for you, and then come forwards like we did in the sun salutations. Bend your knees now until your hands are flat on the floor. Walk yourself back into plank and hold it here. And then bring your left knee down to the floor and swivel around for side plank. So you're pressing the left hand into the mat, reaching with the right, and tuck the hips under. There's a tendency for the hips to be back like this, so push them in line with the body. You're opening up this hip, really reaching up with the top arm. And then we're going to do the other side. So come back onto hands and knees, take your left leg back this time, and the left arm up towards the ceiling. Again, pushing the hips forward, press the hand into the floor, and really reach up through the top fingers towards the ceiling. And then ease back again and come to child's pose. So take the hips back towards the heels, stretch your hands out in front, and take a lovely breath here. Ease yourself up now from this pose. We're going to do a variation of the camel pose and what's called gate pose. So if you come to kneeling, legs are just naturally hip width apart. Bring your hands onto your hips, push them forward, just let the head drop back a little, squeeze the shoulder blades. So you push the hips forward and drop into just a very gentle back bend, holding it here. And then ease up. Now take your left leg out to the side and your left hand down. Reach up and over. This is the gate pose. It's a really lovely side stretch and you might feel it on the inner thighs as well. And come back up and swap to the other side. So right leg goes out, reach up and over with the left arm and slide down that leg. And again, come back to kneeling. Well done. Let's ease our way now down to sitting. Bring your legs out in front of you and then bend your right leg. Bring it into the top of your thigh and turn to face your left leg. Now you want to be sitting up as tall as possible. You might even like to sit on a cushion or roll the yoga mat underneath you for this. Then you want to lift up through the chest and walk yourself forward over the leg, and just see where you get to. Perhaps it's here, perhaps your body gets flat on the leg. Just listen to the body. So you stretch out first, bring yourself forward, and then just let your head relax down wherever you get to. If you're quite flexible, you might even be able to hold around the foot. Otherwise, anywhere that you can get hold of on the leg is fine. So stretching out and the head just relaxes down. And ease yourself up from that pose, and we'll do the other leg. So swapping it around. I've got my left leg bent this time and the right leg stretched out. Same thing, lift up through the chest and walk yourself slowly out over the leg, and then let yourself relax down into the pose. Don't ever take it to where it feels painful, of course. Just stop. So if it's here or here, that's your position. Hold it, breathe into it, and accept it. Your flexibility will just come at its own pace. And ease up very gently from the pose. Bring both feet together now for cobbler's pose, or butterfly pose as it's sometimes called. Lift up and then bring yourself forward, either walking your hands out in front or keep holding onto your feet. As I mentioned before, I like bringing my elbows onto the front of my chin so I can stretch myself forward here, and then just let your head relax. You never want to be forcing or pulling on your head and hurting your neck. And ease up from that. Come around and we're going to go into a boat pose. So with your arms out in front, knees bent, lean back until all the weight is on your hips and your feet are almost ready to lift. Then take them up off the mat. Maybe find a balance here. Perhaps you can bring your shins parallel to the mat. Perhaps you can bring your legs up straighter. So just find wherever works for you. Hold it here in this yoga balance boat pose. And then ease it down and come slowly down to lie on the mat. Now bring your arms out, go down really slowly so you're working on these abdominal muscles, strengthening them until you're all the way down on the floor. Well done. Bring your feet close up to your hips and push your hips up for that bridge pose as high as they'll go. Don't let the knees splay out, don't squeeze them together, but just have the thighs parallel with each other. And then if you can, clasp your hands underneath you, wriggle the shoulder blades under, press those clasped hands down into the mat, and breathe here. And then release your hands, walk your spine down slowly, all the way down to flat. Bring your knees into your chest, hug them in, and gently rock side to side. And then we're going to do just a very gentle twist to finish off. So if you bring your feet back down to the floor, hands away from the sides, just let your legs flop over to one side like window wipers in a car, and relax here. And then take your legs up and let them just flop over to the other side and just relax into it. Bring them back to the center. Hug your knees into the chest one more time. Bring your head up if you can, so you're curled into a little ball, and then lie back down and press the feet up towards the ceiling. Feet are flexed, pushing up. This is called the inverted lake pose. I think if you were standing on the side of a lake and bending over looking in, this would be what the reflection would look like. And again, hug your knees in, and then gently stretch your legs out for the best pose of all, Shavasana, the relaxation pose. So make yourself very comfortable on the floor. Let your legs flop around a couple of times And the feet flop apart. Have your hands facing the ceiling if that feels comfortable for you. Gently close your eyes and let go. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Every exhale, letting go and relaxing more and more. Let's do one more big breath. And release everything. Just feel as if you're melting down into the softest cloud. Just letting everything go. Just feeling the breath flowing gently in and out of the body. Just letting yourself acclimate from all that we've done today. Your body deserves this rest. And then slowly wriggle your fingers and your toes. And take your arms above your head and stretch the body out long. Make the right side longer than the left. And then the left side longer than the right. And stretch both sides like a cat waking from a wonderful afternoon sleep. And then gently bend your knees and bring them into your chest. Hug them in and let yourself rock very gently side to side. And then slowly come all the way over to one side and gently press yourself back up to sitting. Come to sit with a straight spine, and we'll take a couple of breaths here. So inhale, reach overhead, palms touch, and exhale down. And one more time, inhale, reach, and exhale down. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope to see you again tomorrow, and I hope you feel wonderful and not too sore. Namaste, everybody. Well done. Let me know how you feel in the comments, how you did, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye for now.